Morning, guys. Welcome to Coffee Chat. Wow, that was delicious. I'll tell you, I absolutely love it. I can't imagine not having it some days. You come out that first cup of coffee, boy, it's just like, woo, you just crave it so much. Anyway, guys, I'll tell you what, I sure hope you had a fabulous weekend because this weekend that we had, what a roaster. I mean, in some of the days, like I think on Saturday with the humidity index, it was like, felt like it was like 120 out there. And yesterday it was like 114. Today, I can already, man, it is a cooker, that is for sure. And I'll tell you what, though, I sure don't mind the heat that much, really. I feel it's good for the bones. Sometimes you walk out of the house into the heat and you're like, oh, that just feels like a massage. It's just nice. Anyway, guys, I'll tell you, the articles I was reading today, something else. But before that, we had some kids come from California to visit us. They just came back from, doing a Southeast Asian vacation. And look at guys, they brought me a Starbucks cup from Taipei, out there in Taiwan. And so, I think these might be rarities, if you know what I mean, coming up, whether or not we'll be able to get them. But I really love collecting all these cups. And one of these times, Judy is going to do a video. In fact, I'm going to see if I can't encourage her to do it this week. But do a video of all the various coffee cups that we have, because we get lots of questions. How many do you got? And the reasons why we have them. There's a story behind each and every cup, believe it or not. Anyway, wow. So the articles that I was reading this morning tell the story, to be sure, of what's going on. First one is coming out of Germany. And you got the German Central Bank literally coming out and saying they may need to be bailed out because of all of their own money printing. And I'm thinking, what are you... Who bails out the central banks, right, guys? I mean, central banks bail out all these other banks, and they bail out all these other financial sectors with the, printing machine. But guys, when they're talking about themselves being bailed out, it's according to like the UK model, because the central bank in the UK, the Bank of England, when they do overprinting and then they see major losses, well, who picks up the tab? You guessed it. The taxpayers pick up the tab. And if you're thinking who's going to bail out the German central bank, well, guys, you don't be a bit surprised. You're going to see new legislation coming out there that the taxpayers, of course, going to pick up the tab. And they do anyway. This is the thing that really kind of, freaks me out a bit about this kind of stuff, because the reality is the taxpayer already picks up the tab. And how are they picking it up, guys? They're picking it up in inflation. And when your purchasing power of your dollars diminish, it's literally like the government's ripping their hand right in your pocket and pulling out the cash by the fistfuls. And that's exactly what's going on here. But this story, I'll tell you what, I mean, they're literally saying, oh, well, because we had to, bail out people during the whole thing over there and all these other businesses and, pick up the slack for, all of this, euro implosion and all this kind of stuff that's going on. Well, now we need to be bailed out. And you got to think about it. Germany is one of Europe's greatest economies. I mean, you have got to give them some amazing credit, because look, the industrial machine that country built after the end of World War II is nothing short of amazing. And it is a real powerhouse for, the European Union. And yet here you got the beating heart of the financial industry of the European Union telling you, oh my goodness, we're about to actually be in a situation where we're going to need life support and need to be bailed out. That is absolutely terrifying. But look, that's what's being reported. Now, the second article, wow, I'll tell you what, this is how they really want to get this whole financial system flipped over, and in a powerful way. You got Emmanuel Macron, president of France, out there coming out and calling for an international taxation system where everybody on earth is all participating in this international tax, and we all have to pay for all of these blunders around the world for every other country, and not just the idiotic politicians that are running our countries. We end up having to pay for everything. Well, look, Isn't it amazing that these big time bankers, they can get bailed out? But for you and I, if we see an implosion in the banking system, do you know what it is, guys? It's a bail-in. That's where they go in and restrict our deposits and reevaluate them like they did that way back in Cyprus there, where, if you, let's say you had 50 grand in the bank, and I'm just throwing out round numbers here, nothing's particular. But then what they did, they had their bank holiday, and then, oh, well, no, it's not 50 grand anymore. It's actually, 26,000 or something like that, 26 grand. And, that's just the way it went. And people had to eat it. There was nothing else they could do. That's a bail-in. And boy, I'll tell you, check the legislation in your country. You are absolutely going to find that right here in the United States, in Canada, in Great Britain, in Australia, New Zealand, in all of the major Commonwealth countries, and around Europe, when it comes to big bank failures, the bail-ins, the depositors are on the hook for it as a bail-in system. You go check it out. Fact check that. You ought to know this in a big way. And that's exactly what's going to go down. They will reevaluate the dollars. Look, do you think that the FDIC truly has enough to, insure all of these depositors? Well, we know that they don't. And we're watching major regional and local banks. And now some of the big banks are starting to come out there and say, hey, we're teetering a bit as well. You're looking at a major banking crisis like we have never seen. You think 2008 and 7, 8, and 9 was bad? Nothing to it. This is going to be astronomical if what they say goes down really goes down. So, of course, what's the big distraction, guys? Well, you know what it is, isn't it? It's all this that's going on out there, with this whole thing that was going on, this thing going on in Russia and all that kind of stuff. We know, guys, look, it's like, oh, don't look here, because we're doing this over here kind of thing to get you looking over this way. You got to really kind of look and see down the road of what's going on. And when you hear about these a central bank and the likes of Germany, we're not talking about some, small little podunk, third world country out there that has a very small population and hardly any GDP. We're talking about one of the world's greatest industrial powers, and their central bank is coming out saying, hey, look, we might need to get bailed out. That is big, I'll tell you what. That kind of news. But do you think that you're going to see that on the mainstream media? Hardly. You're not going to see it talked about way too much. I doubt it anyway, because look, they dumb us down. They really dumb us down. They actually keep us on the surface, distracted with this, that, and the other thing, and allow us to just kind of be taken away on this and that. And there's more emphasis given to celebrities and social media and all these other kind of things, and who's cheating who and who's being true and who doesn't even care anymore kind of stuff. That's where they keep our attention, because we're entertained by that, rather than like that cage match between Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg that's coming out. Yeah, let's just distract them with that, rather than really give us the real news of what the real goods are, and allow people to get some advanced knowledge, have some critical thinking, and maybe be able to be prepared for what's coming. They don't want us prepared. That's the way I look at it, because if they did, they would make sure that we were on the cutting edge with what's really going on, but we're not. We're kept in the dark, and that's just how they kind of treat us, with that level of, disdain, and they just kind of think that we're just too immature, or too, we just don't have the wherewithal to emotionally cope with it, and so that's how they kind of throw it out. At least that's how I see it anyway. Well, guys, I'll tell you what. Start of the week, brand new week, and I think we're going to hear some major deals come out this week that are going to have huge impacts in this space, to be sure. Guys, do not underestimate the activities that are going on in this space with BlackRock and their ETF for Bitcoin. Guys, with the Fed now coming out here in July, and I just saw an article where they're looking at, possibly down the road incorporating, XRP, XLM, and different ones. I can actually, maybe tonight I'll throw that in my video there tonight where I saw that article. You can kind of, put your own 2 cents on it if you like. But needless to say, lots and lots of big changes are coming in this space, and they're happening really, really fast. And so that's where you really want to be plugged in and kind of know what's going on, because it is going to be something else and really help you make some fabulous decisions. Don't make any decision, guys, based on fear, whether that's fear, uncertainty, or doubt, or that fear of missing out, because no good decisions are ever really made when you're making them quick based on fear, are they? So anyway, that's my 2 cents. Well, guys, I sure hope you have a fantastic Monday and a great week to be sure. And until later on, when we have an amazing video for you, I hope you have a great one, and take care.